Good morning from News Talk 96.5. KPEL, Acadiana's morning news, continues now.
So as technology gets better and better and better, law enforcement has a better and better way of tracking you. I'm always shocked how people commit crime and put it on Facebook. Or what was a long time for it? The guys were Snapchatting things they were stealing because, snaps go away in 10 seconds. Okay, to the user. So it's just another way. Yeah. It's just another way. Now, there are privacy fears, that the government, federal law enforcement, could be tracking you, but we haven't necessarily seen that so much. So could your cell phone really be tricked into revealing its location? Joining us on the phone, Mike Pugliese, former law enforcement officer and leading attorney. What do you think about this whole issue? Is it just growing?
Absolutely. And, it's from a law enforcement perspective, it's the best thing since a no-knock search warrant. Uh-huh. And, of course, from a private citizen who still believes in the Fourth Amendment right and protecting the Fourth Amendment right, it has given law enforcement an all-you-can-eat unconstitutional buffet of data collection. It's a scary, scary thought, and it can be done, and it is being done, and it's being done without our knowledge, without even any of our judges, our legislatures, any of their knowledge, too.
That's what I've said for a long time. Mm-hmm.
Right. And this device, was developed by a private company, and it was intended to apprehend terrorism, kidnappers, severe drug traffickers. But, of course, as in everything else, law enforcement wants to take the easy approach, circumvent the protocol of going through the normal procedures of obtaining a search warrant through legal process and using this device to get information. Problem is, not only will it target and collect the data of a suspect, but it will get the surrounding data of innocent bystanders. And there's no limitation on how it can be used. Can it be used at a political rally? Can it be used at a protest? And just gather all the information, all the identifying information from non-suspecting citizens just taking part in their normal daily activities, and it can be. And that's where there is no limitation on how to stop it.
I often think when we hear about Amber Alerts, you get the silver alerts on your phone. Is that one case where maybe this could be used to our benefit? If people are using their phone as they're maybe crossing state lines with a child they're not supposed to have, or a lost senior citizen, in that way, could it actually help law enforcement?
Of course, but if we could throw away the Constitution, do away with the Fourth Amendment rights, and that would help law enforcement. If, as a police officer, if I could have started at House 1 and went to House 10 without a search warrant and knocked in the front door and searched it and found drugs or found whatever contraband that's illegal, and would that aid my job? Of course it would. But we have that restriction under the Constitution to be safe from unreasonable searches and seizures. And out of fear, you don't want to give up those vital, important rights. And I'm not ready to take that step. Even as a former law enforcement, now as a criminal defense attorney, I'm not advocating that we throw away that right out of fear. And that's what scares me with our technology and the way it's getting that nothing is private. We're having to live looking over our shoulder every moment of the day.
So what would you suggest for just the average Joe? I mean, people like, Rob and I mean, what should we pay attention to? What's your advice?
Well, when you use a cell phone, nothing's private anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that's the advice. And technology is only getting better. Technology is a great thing. Unfortunately, it has its ramifications, and we have to understand and we have to learn that nothing is private anymore, and we have to accept that and move on with our life. I don't want to live in a state, and I'm not advocating living in a state where we're in constant paranoia. Problem is, be careful what you put out on the air. It's open air. Be careful. And everything tends to be collected and is held in some type of database nowadays.
Wow. It's so different. I mean, it reminds me of like Dick Tracy, the comic book from years ago, and he talking to his watch, and now we have these watches and all this kind of stuff. And if only the good people would use it for actually good things and follow the Constitution, we wouldn't get into this trouble. But we just don't live in that world.
You're absolutely 100% right. And it's only going to get worse. And it's if you look at all this, it's a constant arms race in the criminal underground world. Technology here is right now, and the reason that law enforcement is so secretive about this information, about this device, is they don't want the competitors to create something to circumvent that. And then it's going to be a non-stop, just constant, who has the better equipment. And that's where we're going, and it's happening right now. Unfortunately, like you said, it's the innocent people that are getting caught up in all this. And more and more kids have cell phones, and they're not thinking the way we're thinking. They're not thinking of Fourth Amendment search and seizure. They're not thinking this way. And anything they put out there in their adolescent years of non-thinking, it's a scary thought. But nothing is safe anymore, and that's unfortunately that's what we have to accept due to the way we have embraced technology.
I had to stop myself yesterday. I was waiting for a package. FedEx was coming, and I knew it required a signature. Okay, so we have this neighborhood Facebook page. It's a closed group and everything. And it literally crossed my mind. I was getting ready to ask the group, hey, does anyone know when the FedEx truck comes to the neighborhood? And then it hit me. Wait a second. I'm totally putting myself out there that I'm waiting for a package, that it has to be signed for, and we just don't think. But that's just, like you said, now we're kind of getting to the point, especially with younger people using it, not thinking about that. And after, I was kind of like, gosh, Rob, how stupid are you? You're about to say, I have a package coming today, and it requires a signature. What time does it come through? I mean, it just takes one person in the neighborhood to say, it comes through around 7, and go camp out in my driveway.
Well, you know what? I tell you what, Facebook is a wealth of information now. For some reason, we love to publicize our life and what we're doing every moment of the day, and we tend to just put it out there, and we don't think of the consequences we face when we make ourselves so much available to anyone, strangers or anyone. And, you're right. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Where will it end? Who knows?
Wow.
Mike Pugliese has been joining us, former law enforcement official and attorney. Thank you so much. I feel like we learned an awful lot, and it's just another warning for us to really pay attention. Mike, thanks for your time.